What's up, guys, and welcome back. And we're going through Sapphire on this video. Yeah, we're talking about the top Sapphire cards that you need in your collection. If you didn't check out the other video before this, which we were talking about the top 10 cards of Sapphire as we went into set 4, definitely check that out over here. But this time we've gone through set 4. We're getting ready to get into set 5, which is Shimmering Skies. And I want to look back at that list and determine if there's any of those cards that maybe they're not needed. Maybe they didn't get play in set 4. And what cards do we need to add to that list that got a lot of play in set 4 or will be good for you going into set 5? Now, again, this whole video series is to help you build up your collection and know what you need to be able to build some of the best decks, whether that's going to a league or a competitive DLC. These cards should be in your collection to help you build those decks to win. Let's take a look at the list that was in the last video, and I'll put it up right here. And yeah, most of these cards on this list are great. They're staples. We've seen it from Blue Steel to even Blue Ruby. And I don't think anything on this list really didn't see play outside of one card. So this one card I want to talk about is Belle. Strange but special. Yeah, she's a special card, but honestly, guys, this is one of those cards that was really good in set 1 and into set 2. But once we got into set 3 and 4, she kind of fell off. Tamatoa came up as one of the bigger cards that were being used, and we've got a few cards that made the list that really did replace her in most of these decks. Now, she's still a great card, but if I was building my collection today and I didn't have anything, she's probably way lower on my list and doesn't really make this top list anymore. So yeah, if you love Belle, it's a great card, great art to pick up. But if I was building a collection wanting to know what needs to be in there, probably don't put her on the list anymore. The question is, what should be on this list that wasn't already there? And I will go ahead and talk about the one card that everybody's probably wondering why it's not on the list, and that is Mickey Mouse Detective. So Mickey Mouse Detective is a pretty good card, and it kind of sees play here and there, but yeah, I think this is one of those cards that will get removed from the meta as we go into the next set, and that's specifically because of Tipo. Now, everybody's looking at Tipo being the replacement to One Jump Ahead, but honestly, guys, yeah, you probably are still going to run a couple One Jump Aheads, and this is probably the card that replaces Mickey because, well, it does the same thing. It's cheaper and it's inkable. So that's the reason why I really don't think Mickey belongs on the list, because in set 5, Tipo is going to be the card to go to. Now, I'm not saying Tipo's on this list yet. It may be when we readdress this list as we go into set 6, but I did want to bring that up because I know Mickey did not make the list because he wasn't being played too much before set 4, and he did get a little play in set 4, but I think at this point going into set 5, he's not really going to get much play at all. So that's the reason why he's not on the list. If you want to help out the channel and you're interested in picking up any of these cards, make sure to click that link down below for tcgplayer.com. So if you use that link down below, all you gotta do is click it, buy whatever you're buying. A portion of that will help come support the channel here. So appreciate you guys for doing that, and everybody that has already done that since we got affiliated with them. So appreciate you guys so much, and let's jump into the card. Now, looking at the cards that go on the list, I know I just said that, but this time we're really going to talk about the cards that I feel like need to be added to the list. And the first one really is the card that's taking the place of Belle, and that is Ariel Treasure Collector. So Ariel Treasure Collector really came up towards the end of set 4. A lot of these item decks that were coming out, the return of Blue Steel. And if you haven't seen all the spoilers in set 5, Blue's going to be strong. Blue Steel is going to be really strong, and Blue Items is going to be even stronger however you do that, whether it's Blue Steel or just Ruby Sapphire ramp, anything like that. And she is a closeout card just like Tamatoa. The difference I will say on this card is she's probably not a 4 of in any of these decks, but she's usually a 2 of or a 3 of in the decks as closers alongside Tamatoa. So if you are building your collection and this is maybe one of the cards you're not sure how many you want to pick up, 2 is probably the right number. She's fairly cheap right now. Again, she will start to go up over time if that deck really takes off in set 5, which I believe is going to be one of the bigger decks of the format. and she may go up a little bit more. She's not legendary, which helps her out a little bit as far as price goes, but it wouldn't surprise me if she gets to $5, anywhere up to $10, if we see that items specifically are the way to go in the next set. And speaking of items, we have Ice Block. Now, Ice Block is one of those cards that was huge at the start of this set, the start of set 4 specifically, in a lot of the Sisu decks. The Sapphire Ruby control decks were running these in order to, bring down the power of certain cards so that Medusa could hit it, the big Sisu could take it out. And I do feel like this is a card that maybe is getting played a little less towards the end of the format. But again, going back to those item decks and things like that, we may see a rise in this card in some of those decks. I think it's a great card. It's a cheap card, and it can really help you when you're building your collection because, again, if you like that Sapphire Ruby style control deck, I can see this being a card pretty easily in those decks still. Now, the last card I'm going to put on this list is going to be the Great Stone Dragon. Now, this one's a little probably controversial. I still feel like it's not nearly as good as cards like Quill or even some of the other new spoiled cards, but we did see this as kind of an option as a 1 or 2 of in a lot of these blue decks, especially the blue items deck, whether that's blue steel like we talked about before, started to run a couple of these because you can get some value later on when you're, taking those characters that have been put in your discard and going ahead and putting those into ink. Now, that may not happen as much with Bucky pretty much not being in the format, hopefully when we get to set 5, even though discard will still be a thing. So again, this is one of those cards, it's inkable, so it's a great card. If you draw it and you don't need it, you can use it as ink, but it is one of those I think you should have in your collection because there will be a point even in the future where this card could get a lot better. And there you have it, guys. There is all the cards that you should have in your collection with Sapphire as we move into set 5 and Shimmering Skies. If you have a card that you think should have been on this list, make sure to let us know down below in the comments. We appreciate all those comments you guys are leaving. We've already seen a couple great cards on the steel video, so make sure if you haven't checked out that, do that now. Check out that one and let us know on those cards. Make sure if you haven't done it, hit that sub button, hit the bell button. You'll be notified when the next video comes out with the different colors that we're going through for the rest of the week. And we can't wait for Shimmering Skies to come out. We appreciate all you guys that are supporting the channel, and we can't wait to hit that 1,000 subscribers so we can give away a trove to one of the lucky winners. Until next time, guys, y'all take it easy.